What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we're talking about what I think is one of the most slept on weapons inside of Destiny, especially in the Scout Rifle category. This is a world drop Strand Kinetic Pulse Rifle called the Glissando-47. So this comes from any of those legendary engrams in any of the real world stuff that you're doing. Patrols, strikes, gambit, it can just drop from anything, and Banshee, Xur can sell it. So you have options to grab this, and I think, like I said, very slept on. Very good rolls in both PvP and PvE with some Strand synergy. Don't even need to use it on Strand. I've been using it for my overload weapon this season, taking it into GMs and stuff. So we're gonna go over all those god rolls for you guys using the D2 Arsenal website. So let's get right into it. Before we get into the god rolls of this weapon, going over its origin trait, which is that Suros synergy. Reloading grants bonus handling and reduced flinch for a short time. So it's about 36 handling in that stat column and a 20% reduce to flinch for 6 seconds. So this helps in both PvP and PvE in my personal opinion. So very versatile origin perk right here. Now, to start us off in the PvP realm, this thing absolutely slaps with this combination of perks. As you can see in the stats we have right here, this is a 180 RPM scout rifle, which is the same thing as like the hung jury. So that kind of plays into your mind and seeing how it shoots if you want to go grab yourself one of these, but I do highly suggest it. So for the PvP realm, like I was saying, with our masterwork, I am going with stability, so you can just absolutely annihilate guardians. That flinch and stability on this is so good. You can see we have it stacked out to 73, so this thing with our other perks is just a menace inside the Crucible. I'm also going with counterbalance stock to help with that recoil direction, just keeping it even more stable in my opinion, allowing you to laser guardians. Now, for our perks, small bore in the first column, giving us that +7 in stability and range, allowing us to have the stats you can see above. As always, in our second column, going with those ricochet rounds, giving us 10 in stability, 5 in range. Definitely one of the best, if not the best, PvE perk for magazines on basically every single gun. Now, when we move on to our third and fourth column, I think in the third column, keep away is our real only option. Discord is a secondary option, but I think keep away is very good. Increase reload range and accuracy when no combatants are in close proximity. So when we're standing back in a rift, taking those scout sniper lanes, this will proc, giving us that additional range and accuracy, and it pairs perfectly with our fourth perk, which is box breathing. So aiming this weapon for a short period without firing grants bonus range and precision damage. So you can see scout rifle right there, we get a nice bit of range, which goes up 62.75%. And it is that headshot multiplier is very noticeable, especially when you're in like an empowering rift. You're hitting for like 100 in the head. It's absolutely crazy. So that is what I would go with for the god roll keep away box breathing. Like I said, you could go something like Discord in this column as well, with final blows with another weapon, grant increased ADS accuracy and airborne effectiveness. So if you're using like a shotgun, something like that, get a kill and then use Discord with opening shots, so you get that improved accuracy and range on the opening shot of the attack. But I truly think that keep away with box breathing over here is the 5 out of 5 god roll. I would give this a good 4.75 out of 5 inside of the Crucible, in my personal opinion. Now, on to the PvE version, which this thing also rates very high. I would give it about the same thing, a 4.75, maybe even a little bit higher, like a 4.85, 4.9 out of 5, because this thing has an amazing roll set in my personal opinion. So we're going to go over that real quick for you with this PvE side of things. Now, again, I'm going with stability because our perks in the third and fourth column are going to be overflowing the magazine, so that reload, in my opinion, doesn't matter too much on this weapon. So that's why I went with stability, so we can just laser those enemies inside the PvE realm, since we do get flinched a little bit more. I personally go with minor spec on this when I'm using it for my overloads. I will go with, or I should say champions in general, because it'll switch up season to season, but champions take on the major spec. So this right here is what I use when I'm going against champions, but most of the time I have minor spec on, which works for those red bar rank and file enemies. Now, when we go over into our perks for the first column, the Jack of all trades, corkscrew rifling right here, giving us the stats you see up on this chart right here. Very, very versatile perk, and one of my favorites for just the PvE realm in general. Now, for me, going with appended mag right here, it is insane how many shots we can get in the magazine once this thing is in the reconstruction, which we have in our other perk right here. We're having about 30-35 bullets in the magazine on top of what we had already, so it's crazy how full we can get the magazine with this without taking a negative to our reload speed with something like extended mag. Then, like I said, in this third column, going with reconstruction, this weapon slowly reloads itself over time up to doubling its capacity. So that's where we're getting that crazy 35-40 bullets when the reconstruction is fully procced and you're using another weapon for a while. So it is very nice for switching on and off using like a forbearance with this. It is a very good perk for any weapon, and this used to be just a raid perk and now it's on other weapons, so definitely snag it when I can. Now, in our fourth column, got a couple different options in my personal opinion to pair with reconstruction. You could go with hatchling to create those threadlings at the target's location. You could go something with cascade point, so using something like the forbearance, final blows with other weapons, or sustained precision hits with other weapons, gain that increased fire rate for a short period of time. So you can just, with 40 bullets and cascade point, absolutely annihilate and shoot 40 bullets so fast with this weapon. Feels like a Randy's throwing knife, and it is very good for damage output, but for the consistency, I think I would go with hatchling. You also have the opportunity of one for all, so hitting 3 separate targets increases damage, which it's a 35% bonus on the damage side after hitting those 3 targets. So it's another very option, but I still think that reconstruction with hatchling is the best overall for the PvE realm. In that third column, you could throw on overflow, but reconstruction is doing that itself anyways, so that's why I really like this weapon. Like I said, giving it a very high rating in both PvP, PvE, 4.75 in the Crucible, then probably like a 4.85, 4.9 out of 5 inside of the PvE realm. So I definitely suggest y'all grab this weapon if you can when Banshee's selling it, if Xur ever sells it as well. If you just get one from any of those world drops, definitely try and save it, especially if you have any of the rolls that I talked about. So I appreciate all y'all sticking around, coming back to the channel. Been a little bit slow with the Desitny content, but we are very close to a new season, so we will crank out some banging new content for y'all. Don't forget to join the Discord, join us on the channel here with that bell and sub button so you don't miss out on any of these God Roll guides or my build guides that I put out, which are also doing very well. And I appreciate all the very fun and great comments from y'all, so thank you guys again for that support. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.